It's the Flow Friday night sports show, and Mallee Netball managed to get out to Karoona and myself and have a look at a bit of netball action in the Mallee on the weekend. But a lady who was front and centre out there, Nicole McMahon, joins me on the line. Nicole, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks, Jason. How are you going?
Going well, thank you. Yes, snuck out to Karoona incognito, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We're not going to start there today. We're going to start with your girls, Lameroo. You took on Murrayville in round one action, 588 days it had been since the grand final in 2019. How did you go?
I think I felt all 588 days running around on that netball court, but no, it was a beautiful day at Murrayville. I probably thought too hot for netball at 21 degrees, but anything over 19 I think gets a bit warm out on that court. But no, a great day, so exciting to be back, but probably none more excited than Murrayville, being from Victoria and after all the lockdowns and so forth last year. So really good to be back. Ripper game, Lameroo 67 defeating Murrayville 33. So 100 goals shot. So a lot of centre passes for those centre men or centre women, I should say. So a huge 34-goal win there from Lameroo. It was great to see some new faces line up for the Doggies, including their coach, Brianna Worsford. They were at a slight disadvantage. For a lot of those girls, it was actually the first time they met. But to their credit, they did improve throughout the game and started to really gel. Brooke Durden in goal attack for Murrayville was a standout for them and probably one to watch, I think, in this coming season. But she played a really integral role and was a great body-on-body matchup with Cassie Walsh and Pip Murdoch in Lameroo's attack line. But yeah, Lameroo, I think Coach Muriel Walter was quite proud of how the girls gelled as a team. Katrina Bell, a stellar first game back in goal attack. She has definitely done a lot of pre-season, I think, for those 588 days. I'm ashamed I can't say the same myself, but really put in the groundwork and drove hard all day and gelling really well with goal shooter Gemma Rampke.
Excellent. So good win for Lameroo in round one action. To Karoona is where we'll go next. The home club, a bit of a revamp of their club rooms. It was a big day, big crowd. Pinaroo come to town, and Pinaroo were too good.
They were, so a 15-goal victory to Pinaroo, so a reasonable margin. I did think it might have been a little bit closer. I think Karoona came out firing, but then just couldn't hold that level for the full 4 quarters. Both sides, fairly new lineup. Reigning premiers, Pinaroo, very new-looking team. There's a few big shoes to fill from previous players such as Abby and Zara Keogh and our sisters Maddie and Lara Moody no longer in their lineup. So they've generally filled up from the previous A reserves, but still obviously doing okay getting that 15-goal victory. Standout for Pinaroo was Steph Heineke. Got her hands to a lot of balls and just keeping, a sense of control and calmliness for Pinaroo, especially with their new side. Well done to Pinaroo.
Yes, indeed. I watched probably 10 minutes of this game, sort of in between the reserves and the footy and the A grade and the footy. And, I can tell you there was a few girls looking for a drink, quarter by quarter. And as you would expect in round one action, quite a few turnovers as well. And that's sort of reflected in the scoreline. But the skills will improve as the season goes on, I've got no doubt. The last match of the round for us to talk about was at Peak. Peak and Districts hosted BDT, and it was the Crow Girls who were too good in the end by 9 goals.
Yeah, so the closest match of the round, just 9 goals. So it's only a couple of goals a quarter, so that's not much. And all home teams lost also on the weekend, it looks like.
Yeah.
So didn't appear to be a home game advantage. But once again, as with a lot of the teams, really new lineup. BDT promoting a lot of their juniors this year, which is great to see. Lucy Dowd, who last time we played in 2019 was showing a lot of potential, much like her mum Katie Dowd, previous A grader. So she's definitely one to watch this year. Standout for BDT, Erin Tonkin, being a dead-eyed dick, not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but barely missing the goals last Saturday. And for Peak, young Georgia Ballard, just 16 years old, showing she's got a very bright future. So 2 quite junior teams lining up, but BDT just edging forward 47 to Peak 38.
Excellent. Well, let's move to round 2 of matches. The Anzac round, no games on Anzac Day itself. All will be played on Saturday. Lameroo, you get to host your first home game with Karoona coming to town.
Yes, we do, and really excited. We actually had our court 3 done a good year ago now, so excited to finally play on them. I definitely wouldn't be I definitely wouldn't be writing off Karoonda just yet. I think they'll be coming out to prove themselves. They have got a fairly tall side compared to Lameroo, who probably don't have as much height, especially through their centre court and in the goal ring, but they'll make up for that with a lot of pace, I think. There will be some great matchups. Shaylin Pake up against Katrina Bell in that goal ring. I think Lameroo still will edge forward. I think their defence line, which is actually also a very good attacking line, will make sure we capitalise on those turnovers. And Lameroo, shooting 67 goals, it shows I think they are bringing a new sense to their game and that they're able to capitalise on those turnovers. So I'll back Lameroo for this week.
As you should. Moving on, the game at Pinaroo, where the Superoos get to host their first game against BDT. This should be a belter. It's almost match of the round stuff.
Yeah, I think you've called it correctly there. Both teams, fairly new lineup. BDT, they do have Emily Richardson, who's an absolutely fantastic goal attack, previous association best and fairest winner. And she may be enough, I think, to edge those BDT girls over the line. But she'll be up against Steph Heineke, which will be a good tumble in the BDT goal ring. I have heard wind that there may be a potential new recruit for Pinaroo, who's very well known throughout our association, but I won't say much more than that, even though I've probably given it up, but given it away. But, guaranteed to be a great game there. A really difficult one to pick. I might pick Borders by a couple of goals.
Right, should be a ripper. And the last game of the round will be at Peak, where the home side will take on Murrayville. They'll come across the border in droves, and this should also be an interesting game.
Yeah, it should be. I think Marvel losing a few of the girls that they had last week. Unfortunately, they were back for exits, and I've got a feeling they're not going to be back this week. They will welcome back Chelsea Bridge in their defence line, and I'm assuming that will push Jamie Willisdorf, who is a very steady, controlled centreman, so that might add something to the Marvel game. And Peak, I believe, down a key player due to some nice blisters, believe it or not, and I can feel her pain. It's not fun running around in a hot concrete ground, especially when you haven't done it for a while. So both teams have a fair mix of both young and experienced players. Peak with the likes of Ashley McCardle and Madeline Farley, I think that will help Peak get over the line on Saturday. So I think there will be a home game victory within 10-15 goals.
All right. Well, looking forward to the round of matches. Mallee Netball round 2 this weekend. Anything else for us, Nicole, as we wrap up?
No, good luck to everyone. We will, of course, be wearing the armbands and doing a minute silence for the Anzacs before our game. But, really looking forward to round 2.
Excellent. All the best on the court, and thanks for joining us again here on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show.
Cheers, Jason.